Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ale, short for Alejandra. Thank you for being here and sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it. We're trying this microphone thing again, and if this video, I swear to you, is another voiceover, it may be my last video on YouTube. No, I'm trusting the process. Michael is sitting next to me because he helped me test the microphone, and he's backing me up that the tests have worked, so fingers crossed. Okay, I leave for London in, what is it now, 32 hours or something like that, and I'm a little bit stressed. I'll be honest and real with you. My candle's about to burn out. Wait, is it? We'll see. I feel like my plan was to kind of get ahead of everything and have everything planned and ready to go with enough time before the trip actually happened, but that never ends up going according to plan. I always feel like the last couple of days I'm running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to get everything together. Anyway, which brings me to the most important thing, in my opinion, when I travel, and that's my travel kit. I'm trying to be as minimal as humanly possible because I really don't we're only doing a carry-on, so I don't want things to be even heavier than they already are. So I'm hoping to only have this pencil case, this notebook, which is decently chunky, but not too horrible, my Canon Ivy, and then a acrylic block for stamps, and the actual clear stamps that I showed in the last video that are London themed, which I'm really excited about. I've also gone through the extent of removing from my passport notebook a little page so that I don't have to bring an entire sticker release notebook, and then I put the London stickers, like the relevant London stickers, in here, and I'm just gonna put it inside this notebook. There's a few other London stickers here, as you can see, Soho, Covent Garden, the telephone booths, things like that I want to pull and stick on here. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it as minimal as possible, and then that will live in here. So for a quick tour, when you open this is how I have it spread out right now. And I kind of show this in the last video, but I have my London themed photo strip here. I put some of the Traveler's Notebook stickers that, have traveling themes. I have a ruler, my double-sided release tape, which is great and very useful when traveling. Wait, I had to redo this scene because I had an Oyster card, and I think the number on the back someone could technically, not that I think any of you would do this, but just to be safe, you may be able to get some of my info. Anyway, so in here, this fits so beautifully. I have these little colored pencils. It's just the most darling thing you ever did see. Look at this. Gasp. And it's got a little eraser. I don't know why you would need an eraser for colored pencils, because you can't erase colored pencils, but we're not going to question the system. It's adorable, and it's got a little pencil sharpener, and it's adorable. I once got tiny ones like this, but they came in a tube somewhere in here, and Michael very rarely humbles me, okay? When I buy stationery, he's always extremely supportive, but when I bought these tiny pencils, he was like, how are you going to sharpen those? And I was so bummed by his reaction, but honestly, he was right. And then when I saw this one, and I saw that it came with a pencil sharpener, he was nothing but supportive. Anyway, moving on to this, okay? Speaking of Michael, King Michael, he got me this for my birthday. Birthday? Yeah, for my birthday last year. And I have since used it. However, okay, before, this here was one big pan, and I didn't need, or two bigger pans, like two square pans, and I simply didn't need so much of those two colors. But my dad recently came to visit me from Toronto, and a local art store near him actually had these little tins because the ones in BC do not have them. So I've been patiently waiting for my dad to bring those so that I could fill in all my missing colors in here and have tiny little palettes, and then it's like every color that I could ever possibly need in this teeny tiny palette. So I'm super excited. I will show you that after me filling them in, but I'm just gonna finish the quick tour. My Oyster card, as I said, was here. I have my star stickers, you know the drill with those. And I have some washi tapes that I selected for the trip, just 2 different ones. And then I have to transfer from my Camel Traveler's Notebook, my little envelope thing that I have where I keep photo corners and other things to tape down photos, because like I said, I'm going to bring my Canon Ivy and I'll be printing photos on the go. And then I have a short trip insert in here. I'm not a huge fan of the color of the cover, but I'm going to make it work because my vision is to use the stamps that I bought on top of this, you know what I mean? In some capacity. I think it'll look really, really cool. I kind of wish it was like a cream or a white, but I think it'll still look nice. And then on the back, I have my printer paper. I have 2 just regular zinc paper, and then I have these that I've never tried out before, but I'm really excited to use them, and they're the pre-cut circle stickers. I think it will be nice to just give my pages some different layouts so that they're not all square photos, if that makes sense. And then in the back, I have two little zip up things, which will be great for keeping ephemera, tickets, receipts, you know, anything that we accumulate. And I just have 2 little things in here. One is like the definition of August, because this trip is in August, which is also my birthday month. So I thought it would be relevant. And then another stamp that I have that looks like this, but I didn't want to carry this with me because it's quite bulky. So I just cut it out and have it ready to go. And it just says place, and you write the place underneath and then the weather. It's just nice to have little pre-prepared things. I might take this as well, the little world. They're just kind of cute. Let's slip this in here before I forget. And then, like I said, these stickers, I'll probably just slip them in here. And then it's also nice because if I collect any other kind of sticker while I'm traveling that I want to preserve, I can put it in here. And then when I get back, I can either put it in the notebook or put it in my full-sized sticker release insert. Okay, that's that. And then, like I said, I'm gonna bring the printer, which is very self-explanatory, and I can show you in terms of tools what it is that I'll bring. Okay, I had to stop the video for a second to make sure the microphone was working properly, and it is, so we're good. Okay, then we're keeping it as minimal as possible. I originally packed this black ink, but I might take my deep brown one instead. Maybe I'll just use this one to do the cover of the notebook to make sure that it really pops. Although the dark brown could be nice as well. I'm undecided, but I'll definitely bring an ink pad, is kind of the must. Then I always take my date stamp, especially when I'm traveling. I just think it's such a nice touch to see the dates every day. I just think it's nice. I'm also bringing my little scissors, which I love, especially for travel. They're not very long at all, so I've never had any issues with people taking, like the airport being weird about them. I do have a notes in my notes app on my phone, I have one thing dedicated to screenshots of scissor policies from the airports that I go to, so that if they give me a hard time, I can quite literally pull out my ruler, pull out this, and measure it and prove to them that it meets the requirements. That's how protective I am about my scissors. I have a glue stick. You know, I love my glue runner, but it's not really practical because if you run out of it, then you're just carrying around the body of the glue runner and you don't have any glue in it. So I'm leaving that behind, sadly. I also I'm taking my Platinum Preppy in the extra fine. I'm not bringing any of my fancy fountain pens because if anything happens to them, I would simply be too sad. So I'm not going to take that risk. And then since I'm planning to do watercoloring, I have things that will allow me to do that, like my kneadable art eraser. Let me shuffle these so you can see it all. I've got 2 different tiny brushes. One already comes with like the water section, which is really convenient, and then a tiny one. And then I have different sized erasers, my pencil, and then permanent extra fine liners to do my illustrations, and then a white pen for highlighting. And last but not least, a little Nike sweat wristband that I use when I'm painting to kind of get the paint off. And that is it. I think, honestly, I'm pretty impressed with how minimal I've been. And like I said, I will likely take the acrylic block and then my London stickers. And that's it. That's all I'm going to take. And I'm extremely excited about it. I think when I travel journal, the main thing is always the fact that I'm printing a lot of exciting photos and receipts and any ephemera that I'm collecting on the trip that I don't really need to, I try not to focus too much on like bringing too many stickers or a lot of, you know what I mean? Like pre-made deco. I think naturally a trip creates a lot of fun things that you can decorate your spreads with. So I'm very excited to see how that all comes to life. Okay, now that I've shown you that, I want to quickly fill in the paint that I still need to put into my pocket palette. So let's do that. Okay, so the colors that are not making the cut are the Chinese white, because that's why I've packed the white highlighter pen. Sepia, I never know, is also not making the cut this time, and neither is lamp black, because I don't really think I need such a true black. Instead, I'm doing Payne's gray. Okay, so this was the little color swatches that I had made so that I knew which colors were in here, which kind of makes it nice and easy so that I know which ones I need to add. So I'm still going to add dioxazine purple, Purple Lake, Permanent Rose, Cadmium Orange Hue, Emerald, Sap Green, Turquoise, and Payne's Gray. And then I think afterwards, the beautiful thing about these art toolkit palettes is that they're just magnetic, so you can pull them right out and reorganize them. So I think I'll organize them in a way that kind of makes sense for me visually, because I think originally when I made this palette at the time, this setup made sense, but now that I'm gonna have so many more colors, I think I'm gonna be due to reorganize. So let's get into it. Okay, now that those have been filled up, I wanted to make sure I left them in order here because then I know what colors are in each spot so that when I create these little palettes, I know which ones are where and how to reorganize them. So I have a little paper towel and I just want to make sure that I'm not really good at this part, I'll be honest. I feel like my paint always ends up having little air pockets, but you want to try and kind of just poke it around, get it in all the nooks and crannies so that the paint doesn't crack. I think I filled that one way too much and it's going to take forever to dry. Okay, that's done. Let's hope that this dries before we leave. I think it'll dry at least for the most part, and then it can just continue drying on our way, maybe. But I will leave this open. And yeah, this part is done. One thing though is that I simply cannot do the decorating of my notebook on camera. I'm so sorry to tell you. I think it's just gonna be way too stressful because I'm gonna be very worried about making mistakes. But I promise I will show you the final product. I am kind of thinking of putting Tower Bridge in this corner and maybe this London message in the center, or I may just do a bit of a collage and have them all on the cover, to be determined, but you will see it once it's done. I just can't do that part on camera because it'll be too frantic and I don't think it'll be pleasant for you watching or for me filming. So I promise I'll be back to show you that before I finish this video. Okay, see you in a bit. Big Ben is the only stamp that I've tried already because I was simply too excited, and when I tested it out I was speechless at how beautiful it was. So here's to hoping.
It's gonna look gorgeous.
my gosh.
Are we done? That was so cute.
Isn't that so darling?
That was awesome.
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. Okay, we did it, friends. It's done. It's over. This is her. This was truly when I first saw these stickers. I had this vision immediately, and to see it all come together is so satisfying, and I can't believe that I leave so soon. I'm very much looking forward to showing you little snippets from my trip and how the travel journal comes along. I can't thank JOURNALSAY enough because they kindly sent me these clear stamps, and I feel so honored to have received them because look at this. Look at this. It's so perfect. So thank you so much, JOURNALSAY. I will leave the link to these stamps in the link down below. I also have a little discount code if you're interested. But yeah, I'll leave it in the link. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with me. I'm so very excited for this very exciting trip. And I will see you when I see you. Bye. Oh, let's blow out the candle. Okay.